Hello and welcome back. So, last week we finished up with the Soldier's Peak. He cleared it out, found out one of the mages from the rebellion in however many, hundreds of years ago, who was still alive. And told him to continue to his research. Research provided benefits to the wardens, and then we see. I believe visiting the battlefield was the previous week, and we witnessed one of Kalen's men get killed, and he gave us some information about some stuff which is left back at the battlefield, so that'll be fun to get to, and got to Lake Calenhad, and where we are going to see if we can find any more information about where Brother Genetivi is. Because this is apparently the last place he was.
Maker, rest the souls of all, Templar and Mage, who gave their lives defending the Circle. May they find peace at last.
Nice that.
Just players in a play. All a dream. But whose dream? And for whose amusement? Some being of cosmic power. Sublime, enlightened beings. Cosmic power? What, you're serious? They thought of all this grit, all the war. They bloody thought of boils. I got a boil the size of your nose on my big toe, and some beings are enjoying this. Disturbed, sick bastards, if you ask me. Ahem. I still maintain they're more enlightened than that. If I ever come across one of them, I'll give them a what for.
I've never encountered that before. That's entertaining. Hi.
The Mages Collective thanks you. Make us smile upon you.
In here? Nope, nothing. Oh, right. That's something about... Maybe the next clue leads us into the spoiled princess. Hey, Lorana, I believe I have something to say to you.
Yes?
I have a letter for you from the Blackstone Irregulars.
All right. Let me take a look. What? This is terrible. My beloved.
Alright. Now, let's see what you have to say about Brother Genetivi.
Welcome back to the Spoiled Princess. How may I serve you today?
Is there a Brother Genetivi here?
Brother No. No, of course not. I've never heard of him.
What about the knights from Redcliffe? Have you seen any?
No, I haven't seen any knights.
You seem nervous.
Why would I be nervous? Listen, the person you're looking for isn't here. You should be on your way as soon as possible.
Are you in some trouble? You can trust me.
They're watching me. I can't speak openly. Don't look around and keep your voice down. They're looking for anyone asking for this Brother Genetivi. They told me to act like nothing's wrong and just deny ever having seen the brother or the knights.
Is there anything I can do to help you?
What can you do? I do what they want because they'll hurt my family. I have no choice. You should be on your guard and leave quickly. I don't know what happened to the knights, but I doubt it was anything good.
Thank you. I'll be careful.
Goodbye, and Maker turn his gaze on you.
All right. Right. But I'm sure there's not going to be anyone waiting outside to attack me. What a shocking turn of events. Kick you.
We have done well.
Welcome back to the Spoiled Princess. How may I serve you today?
I was just looking around.
Of course. If there's anything I can get you, just let me know.
What are you looking at? Can a man drink at these?
Overpriced swill.
Okay. So at this point, there are a few things I can do over in the tower. And there's a reason for me to come back later, but there's also something a little more timely I would like to talk about. And I will attempt to do that while taking care of the things in the tower.
Welcome back, youngster. Looking to go across to the tower?
No, not right now.
Well, I'll be here.
Alright, and just doing that because I am going to change up who I have in my party.
Welcome back, youngster. Looking to go across to the tower?
You got your boat back?
Gregor came by, said I could have Lissy back. He seemed sad and tired.
I'd like to go to the tower.
Off we go then.
Okay, so the thing I was going to talk about is how the mess of furnace.
I don't know if I have the strength for another big battle.
The Grey Wardens saved us, fighting the Blight.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, a furnace. Previous, being one of the cutscenes had a furnace
We need to get these out of the tower before
talking, casting a spell, and he was specifically speaking in another language, which is something which is not something that really happens very much. But in this game, usually magic is just sort of cast and happens usually more. It's usually more just a or just, I guess it's gestures. that case, you actually saw, well, heard him speaking in a language which was not standard, which everyone speaks in this game. And it's just this feed into a kind of usual trope of magic requiring you to speak in a different language, like an older language, in order to get it to actually work. And in, well, at least in the European milieu, that's frequently Latin, but in this case, that was not Latin.
It will be done.
And I'm not actually sure what language that was. I found a suggestion online that it might have been Russian, because part of it, yeah, Niet Zakon, apparently does actually mean something in Russian. Apparently means no bacon. But I tried to transliterate it into Cyrillic characters. Here's search for it online translated. Couldn't come up with anything. So I don't actually know what it is. In the game, I suspect that if they use a similar sort of thing to what we do, at least in the European, like Western context, it'd probably be Old Tivine, the language of the ancient Divinter Imperium.
As you say.
But there's kind of a larger question of why exactly that's done, and the reason for that, I believe, is basically it's a pattern recognition thing, like magical thinking, more or less. You go, who you have, and that's basically a basic pattern recognition. As you have something that happens, so you want to recreate it, so you retrace the steps of what you did before it happened. And that's like, provided you believe that there is actually a correlation, which you might. So where was I? Sorry, getting distracted reading the guide for this. Yeah, I think I'm actually pause. But I didn't know what I'm doing. But so, for instance, you have an example of hunter-gatherer. A potential hypothetical hunter-gatherers who are like coming home from a position of some degree of success. As it's getting dark, they make some makeshift torches, and then they notice a beehive up in a tree, And so while they're standing underneath it, trying to discuss whether or not they want to go up to go get it, because kind of dangerous. The bees, you can get killed just by being stung too much, and also you get stung and lose your footing, you can fall, hurt yourself, and injury could also be fatal. And then, like, one jokingly asks, "Hey bees, will you not sting us?" And then they decide, okay, they'll actually go up, and surprisingly, they can actually get the honey without the bees stinging them. So they get bring back the honey. The question is, okay, what exactly was it that made this possible? Was it, talking to them? Was it the people who were there? Was it the time of day? Was it the torches? What's the specific make of the torches? So, and given as it could potentially be fatal if they fail at it, kind of important to recreate it as closely as possible. So, you look at that to, okay, we have people who could do magic in the past, or at least potentially do magic in the past, okay, recreate it as closely as possible. So you end up using old, like whatever language they used in attempting to cast these spells, again and again and again. And despite the fact that that might not be the important part. But anyway, so let's continue on here. I saved. And now...
It's done.
Okay. Now what did I get? I don't know. Well, that worked. Okay. Elvorn's Grand Beastier is the next thing I need. This was another thing I was thinking about with that, is that you notice is that in all the visions, the equipment they were using looked more or less the same as what we use nowadays, well, at least in this game setting. And despite the fact that it was at least several centuries in the past. As much as we may commonly think of the Middle Ages as not really having much in the way of technological development, it actually had a lot. And there was a significant difference between in like centuries in terms of what they could do. So, it does seem kind of odd that they would do that and just have no indication that in this setting they have any advancement technologically. But I feel like there's also some degree to which magic might explain that, given as, sure, you can Or you could make like a better plate armor, better steel, or you can just have someone like technology already know, like reinforce it with magic. Might as well just reinforce it with magic. It's the easier and more certain thing in the setting. Though with how magic is treated at this point, that might not be the most reasonable thing. It's kind of suppressed.
It is too easy.
So, yeah, I guess it's possible that magic may be leading to actual technology stunting. There have been people who pointed out that given the training magic requires, it might also stand to reason that they'd want to develop technology so anyone who doesn't have those abilities could more easily counter it, and counter it without having to use their own mages or do as much training. So, in other words, I don't really know. It does seem like they would have more technological development, even if it is stunted because of the magic. But, yeah. It is a thing. And I do actually would find it really interesting to, see...
I shall.
Yeah, a little bit more of, like, technology changing from one period to another in fantasy games. Because I don't think that humanity would ever stop developing technology, even if we have magic. Because, not everyone can use magic.
It's done.
Okay. Again, and... Novice phylactery. That's actually a phylactery, they shouldn't be storing it there, but...
On my way.
My guess would be it's probably a book. Alright.
Oh, this is rather awkward, what? I'm not supposed to be here. Not right. At all.
Our own foreshadow. Funny name. Yeah, also, settings with fantasy settings which are not medieval. Well, Europe would be neat as well. Things like irony, Romans plus magic, or Sumerians plus magic, or ancient Egyptians plus magic.
It will be done.
No, Cullen, don't notice this. Don't notice it at all. There's nothing here to look at. I can go up. Because I think there might be something else I can do here in the upper levels. Is there... Magi. So it's possible I might cut out a lot of this because I'm... Oh. I'm just going through areas I've already been through. Coupled statue.
Of course.
A statue of Andraste lies defiled. There's a small phylactery in the base, somehow sealed within the otherwise solid stone carving. The area is unnaturally cold. Dark shapes swirl around. A slip of paper within the vial. Take the vial. Glass fractures at a touch. Oh my! Oh.
You will not win. It will be done.
I suppose violence is a solution. Sometimes. Let's make this quick. It's your time to die. I am your battle it is then. Make it brave. Fear me.
Chetter's journal? Another scrap of paper. Where are you, scrap of paper? There you are. Circle with circles within circles. Alright. No, it's not really. I can't get out of that way. Can I go up further? I can. apprentice note.
I don't think this story has a happy ending for our young taker of notes.
Okay, let's... Torn page. Another torn page. Do anything in here? Another torn page. Pile of rubble? Wait, I think this is where the Desire Demon had the... Oh, hey, chest that I wasn't able to open. I can open it now, yay! Desire Demon head.
Of course.
Yeah, ensorcelled. Templar. Another book I missed. Nothing in here. These flesh piles are really pretty disturbing. Nope. Nothing there. Yes. Hi, Ellen. Alright. Ah.
At your
Sorry. Alright. That's everything to do with the Mage's Tower that I can do at present.
Wynn, is this yours?
Oh, my bag of components. Thank you, dear. I was wondering where it got to.
You left it by the fire at camp.
Oh, yes, I remember now. How age creeps up on you and brings with it forgetfulness.
You're a great mage, Wynn, and you're sharper and wiser than many people I know. Some young ones too.
Oh, but you should have seen me 15, 20 years ago. The fires have dimmed somewhat since then. But thank you, Liliana, for picking up after this old lady.
That's the kind of thing I was hoping for, is a little bit more of banter. Anyway, let's...
You really killed
Sell
all
some stuff.
those abominations? I didn't think it was possible. I thought we'd all die here. I'm sure you need supplies after that, don't you?
See what exactly I can sell and what exactly I want to keep. Alright. Camp.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Let me see your wares, but
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
alright. I'm also going to go around talking to people. Oregon. Let's see, they've just got something personal.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Mind. I can ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
I think I've already gone through both of these.
Yes.
Is this going to be another very long conversation? I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Everyone alright?
Very well.
Discuss what you mentioned?
Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
Okay. Good talk. Runes for the circle. Thomas Moon. Runes.
Such a force has not been seen since the collapse of the Tevinter Imperium.
Hello, Win.
What's on your mind?
Why did the spirit choose to help you?
I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there.
I've never experienced that before. Of course I wouldn't, because I'm a dwarf.
I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched.
Do spirits watch people like that?
I suppose they must. It is these benevolent spirits that create our dream worlds in the Fade. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word.
You mean it protected you?
There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles, Ostagar being one of them.
One of them? You've had other terrible battles? I mean, if spirits also gained strength from people in the real world, it would make sense that they would congregate and also protect a source of what they need. I suppose it felt it wasn't your time?
I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me.
I'm glad you think traveling with me is worthy of your time.
I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden, and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger wagging.
Oh no, not the finger wagging! That will be something to see indeed.
You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help.
Liliana!
I was just thinking about what happened to the elves, and I'm reminded of a song sung to me many years ago. It was when my mother died, and this wise elven woman comforted me and told me that we shouldn't fear death or hate it. Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free.
We believe that we return to the stone and become ancestors.
And thus you embark upon another journey. Death is just the gateway.
don't remember there being so much singing in my previous playthroughs. Hello, Alistair.
Something on your mind?
I have some questions.
Of course.
What was it like to be a Grey Warden with all the others?
I didn't know them for very long, but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family, since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
No, I'd like to hear about them.
There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Sounds like I had a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow. It doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he really... Until...
I'm sorry, this must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by, nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
Not at all.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go.
Separate.
Here I am.
Can answer some questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training. The sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is the desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
You did quite well, no doubt.
Within the Crows, I did. But it has been something the Crows have devoted a great deal of time to perfecting. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
Sounds like that could be useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
Yes, Jory, thank you for interrupting. What do you want?
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
Good. He will fell our enemies with his stench.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Go ahead, he is getting a little rank.
Excellent. I will get my soaps, and the dog shall have his bath after supper.
Alright. And... Jeez, I didn't realize it had already been an hour. So I guess this is where I will call it for here. Next time we will get out and go to Orzammar. Actually see, if my being a Grey Warden will allow me back into the city. And, see what's happening with my father, because apparently he's not doing well. Possibly has already died. Anyway, thank you for watching, doing your relevant things with YouTube's buttons, and have a nice day.